the prices and the cost of living. How does a family get affected with the prices? That is a concept what we are going to discuss today. Let us go on to start off with the family budget. For example, if a family earns rupees 10,000 rupees and the entire expenditure what they spend in the entire whole month is 12,500 rupees, then the income which is coming in deficit is 12,500 minus 10,000 is 2,500 rupees, which means he is borrowing rupees 2,500 rupees. This is just an example. If you calculate the room rents, then if you calculate the food what they are spending, if you calculate the groceries what they are spending, if you calculate the bills what they are spending, if you calculate about the transport spend money what they are spending, all this will get added to this, and the income what they are getting is not sufficient for them, so they need to borrow certain amount, and that amount is getting added to the total expenditure what is being spent by a particular family. So this is very clear for us that the family which is getting a certain amount of income is not sufficient because the prices of the products are a bit more or a bit less. This brings the variation. When it is less, the some products may be less, obviously the other products also may be higher cost, so which balances it and makes the cost to be higher. And for example, transport cost increases. Instead of spending 2,000 rupees on transport, they started to spend 2,500 rupees on transport. Obviously that 500 is an extra spending only, that doesn't add for them, so it is getting extra added amount for them. In the same way, not only about the transport, we can discuss about that vegetables, groceries or the other items or any services, petrol prices, everything will be affecting the family budget. But how the changes in the prices affect the family budget directly? For example, if we discuss about the computer software disks or the CDs, if the CD cost is increased, it doesn't influence the manual labor who doesn't work with the CDs at all. If the cost of sugar is increased, obviously the sugar tea maker will increase the cost of the tea, which is affecting to many of the people who consume sugar. It is not getting affected to any person who is not taking sugar at all or who is not taking the tea at all. So it depends on the items what we are discussing. But when the changes are found in the prices, for example, like a petrol price is hiked, obviously the all products will be hiked. The transport will be increased. The people traveling will start to charge more amount. Any product to be transferred from one place to another place also will be charged to more amount. And finally it leads to make them to understand what is the basic thing what they have started to spend extra. For example, 100 rupees is the cost of the vegetables what they have spent, and the next month if they start to spend 123 rupees on the vegetables, that 23% of rupees are increased amount of the budget of the family. So if all products started to increase their prices, where the people are getting very less amount of money as the fixed amount of salaries, and generally it gets affected to the family budget. And moving on to the criteria where the people do not get the effect of the budget or the price hiked, we have certain categories of people where the price hikes do not affect their family budgets. Those are the specialized categories of people who are unaffected. Is the first one is the government employees. The government employees, either it may be the state government employees or the central government employees, are very less affected with the price hikes of any family budgets or any product prices, because they are also paid dearness allowances, which are known as DAs. With the hike, along with that calculation only, government also calculates the DA and gets added to their salaries. As we were discussing about the government employees not getting affected, the government employees are the people who are benefited because the government itself pays for them the dearness allowance of according to their fixed criteria or their grades, and pays it directly into their salaries. When this is hiked, when the prices of the products are hiked, automatically the government will hike the daily allowances for them, which is making them to be on the safe side. The other thing, businessmen, if businessmen, for example, the sweet shopkeeper, the sweet maker, if the sugar product is increased its price, the sweet maker will obviously increase the cost of the sweet. If a tea maker finds the sugar cost is increased, obviously he increases the cost of the tea. So this all makes the businessmen make the impact directly fall onto the customers. One is they are not taking the pain of doing it, they are just passing on the extra burden to the consumer who is going to consume the product. And then we move on to the services. For example, the labor, the washerman, the people, those who do all the other activities and do services for the people, those people also will increase the service charges because they get their income from the consumers or the customers whom they have. And the last but not the least, the corporate people, the people those are working in the corporate offices or the corporate lifestyle, they don't have any impact of the scarcity of the funds of the money, so they are paid in a huge amount of salaries, so obviously they don't care much about the price hikes. These are the 4 different categories of people where the price hikes does not affect their family budgets. One is the government employees, where government allowances are measured for them according to the inflation and paid for them. Business people, where they pass on the business stress or the increased price hikes to them, to the consumers especially. Then the services of the washermen, hairdressers, or shoemakers, shoe polishers, or the different kinds of people who perform the services for us, they take extra charge from the customers, so they don't have much effect on that. And the corporate people who are paid in handsome salaries, which obviously makes them to get more amount of the salaries for them, and they don't even bother much about the salary hikes what are getting affected for them. In this way, we have different categories of people who fall very less under the influence of the inflation or the price hikes. Now, as we were discussing about the people those who are not getting affected with the things, now leaving them apart, the basic major problem of India is inflation. What is the meaning of the word of inflation? The word inflation means that too much of money chases too few goods, which means that the amount of money which is we are having is too large and the items you get are very less, which means the cost of the products has been increased so much that the money has to be spent more to get few products. Now, living on to the concept of inflation's basic definition, we have different kinds of inflations occurring for us. But before finding out the different kinds of inflations and all, let us calculate how is the inflation find out, or how a price of a product can be determined clearly. It is known as the consumer price index. If suppose 100 rupees are spent for us before we buy any product, like you brought products for 100 rupees this month, next month if the price gets hiked for 25%, which means that 25% of the extra hike will be added in the next month's budget, that is you get 125 rupees. The very next month if it goes hike for 20% extra, which means that from 100 the calculation of 25% made it like it got 125, but if it goes to 20% from 125, again it gets added to 25% extra and it leads to 150, that is 125 plus 25 is equal to 50. I think I am very clear, listen to me carefully. 100 rupees was the first month's spent, 25% was hiked on the prices, then you got 125 rupees is the money spent on the products. Later, the very next month, they got the hike of 20% from 125. So when you are calculating 20% from 125,